Dear students, first of all, I want to welcome you to our English virtual class of grade 5. Dear students, before we start our class, you have to take out your English textbook, an exercise book, and a pen or a pencil. Today, we are going to learn to write a paragraph on, you will know later, okay? So for that one, you have to watch me and listen to me very carefully. We have to go together. You have to write in your exercise book, okay? Are you ready? Well, I am going to show you the slides, and you have to look at the slides and you have to guess what we are going to learn to write in Unit 5. So you have to turn to the pages of Unit 5, page number 47, okay? Now have a look. What do you see on the slide? Yes, there's written, please you also read with me. Look at the pictures. Have you seen the pictures? No. Now I am going to show you the pictures. Please have a look. See, what do you see there? Yes, a picture of a girl. She is a student, okay? Now you can read. Please read with me, okay? I am ... blah blah blah, okay? My name is. It means this girl is saying her name. Or you can say this girl is writing her name. We are going to learn to write a paragraph, okay? So you have to guess on what we are going to write down. I am. So it means you can also write it down in your exercise book. I am your name, or you can write down my name is, you can write down your name, okay? It is written by this girl, student. Now another thing I want to show you. After her name, she is writing her, let's say, age. I am is, look at, maybe she is 10 years old or 11 years old or 9 years old, okay? So you have to also write down your age. Then you have to write down I live in. You have to write down your address. Where do you live? For example, you may live in Acham, you may live in Surkhet, you may live in Kabre-Palanchok, you know, or you can write down your municipality's name, or you can write down your rural municipality's name, okay? This is what you have to write down, your address. Then look at another picture. Who is he? Now check whether your guess is right or wrong. My father's name is, that girl's father, okay? And she is writing my father's name is. So you can also write down your father's name, like my father's name is. Then you can write down he is. Now you can write your father's age here. The girl, the student, is writing her father's age here. So you can also write down your father's age. He is blah 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 years old, maybe 40 years old, 45 years old, you know. Then you can write down, see, he is a teacher. For example, if your father is a doctor, you can write he is a doctor. If your father is a farmer, you can write down he is a farmer. Or if your father is an engineer, you can write down he is an engineer. What is the profession of your father? You can write down here, okay? Then you can write about your mother also. See, my mother's name, it is written by the student, the girl whom I have already shown you, okay? So my mother's name is, you can write down your mother's name. Then you can write down, see, for example, she is a housewife. Do you know the meaning of housewife? Housewife means our mother generally takes care of our house, you know, that is what. So if your mother is a teacher, you can write down teacher. If your mother is a doctor, you can write down doctor. If your mother is an engineer, you can write down engineer. If your mother is a policeman, you can write down policeman, okay? That is what you can do. And here, the girl has written that her mother is a housewife, okay? Profession, her work. Then she says, I have a brother. Look at, there is a brother on mother's lap, okay? And moreover, she writes about his age also, and he is only 5 months old. It means if you have brother or if you have sister, you can write down about your brother or sister also. All right. Then see, look at, this is the picture of school, and the children are going to school. Okay, it means you can write down about your school too. See, my school's name is, so what is your school's name? You can write down your school's name. Then you can write down your class, grade, in which grade you are studying. See, we are learning the subject of grade 5. That's why she has written here, I study in grade 5, and you are also studying in grade 5 this year. Okay. Then you can write down your best friend's name also. My best friend is, what is the name of your best friend? You can write down. Then see, what you like to do or what you like, you can mention. For example, if you like dancing, you can write, I like dancing. If you like to play football, you can write down, I like playing football. So you can write down your likes and sometimes dislikes also. Okay, and here the girl has written, she likes her teachers. So she has written down, I like my teachers. Okay, now I am going to another slide. You have to make a guess what we are going to write down today. On what? We are going to write a paragraph, that is very sure. And on what? Now make a guess. You just think and tell me. Have you thought? Well, now you can check your guess whether it is right or wrong. And we are going to learn to write a paragraph on myself. If you can write down about yourself, then you can write down about someone else. It means you can write down about your father, or you can write down about your mother, or you can write down about your best friend or anyone else. You can write down. Okay, so first of all, you should be able to write down about yourself. So for that one, I have already given you the clues about the student. Okay, now see, we are going to write down about myself. For example, I can write about myself, you can write about yourself, and if you want to write down about your father, you can write about your father. I have already told you that. Even you can write down about your uncle, you can write down about your aunt. Okay, so for this one, you should know these things. For example, these are the basic things you have to write down about yourself. And if you want to add more information, if you want to give extra information, you can add. Basically, you have to mention, you have to write down these things. Okay, so what are the things? Let's go together, and you also read with me. Okay, look at myself. This is our title. Okay, now you can write down I am. It means you have to write down your name. You can start like I am. For example, if I say I am Tankanath Acharya, or I can say, I can write down my name is Tankanath Acharya. Okay, you can start like this. Then you can write down your age. I am, for example, I can write down I am 35 years old. So what is your age? You can write down your age. I am, for example, 10 years old, or I am 11 years old, or if you are 12 years, you can write down 12 years old. It means you have to write down your age. Is it clear? Well, then you have to write down your address, where you live. For example, I live in. For example, if I live in Kathmandu, I write down I live in Kathmandu. If I live in Bhaktapur, I live in Bhaktapur. Or you can write down your municipality's name. Okay, so don't forget to write down your address. Then you can write down about your father, as the girl has already written. Okay, before this slide we discussed about that one. So you can write down my father's name is. What is your father's name? You can write down your father's name. Then you can write down his age. If your father is 40 years old, you can write down he is 40 years old. Or if he is 30 years old, you can write down he is 30 years old. If he is 42 years old, you can write down he is 42 years old. Okay. Then what is his work or what is his profession? What does your father do? You can write down here. For example, my father is a farmer, so I can write down he is a farmer. If my father is an army, I can write down my father, he is an army. If my father is a doctor, I can write down he is a doctor. So what your father does, you can write down as a profession, as his work. Is it clear to you? Fine. Then you can write down about your mother. Okay, my mother's name is. So what is your mother's name? You can write down your mother's name. All right. Then she is a housewife. What does your mother do? You can write down her work. For example, my mother is a housewife. Okay, she takes care of all the family members. She is busy in household works. That's why I have written here, for example, my mother is a housewife. So I write down here, she is a housewife. So I have already told you that if your mother is a housewife, you can write down housewife. If your mother is an army, you can write down army. If she is a farmer, you can write down she is a farmer. So what she does, you have to write down. Okay? Then you can write down about your brother or sister if you have. For example, I have a brother. So I can write down I have a brother. If I have a sister, I can write down I have a sister. Okay? Then you can write down his or her age. So my brother, for example, is only 5 months old. Okay, so if your brother is 3 years old, you can write down he is 3 years old. Or if your sister is 5 years old, you can write down she is 5 years old. Okay, so you can write down your brothers or sisters' age also. Is it clear? Good. Now you can write down about your school. So for example, I have written here my school's name is Adarsa Secondary School. So what is your school's name? You can write down. Okay, school is also a very important place for us. That's why it is better to write down about our school. So you can first write down your school's name. Then you can write down your grade. You can write down your class, in which class you are studying. All right. Then you can write down about your best friend also. So my best friend is, you can write down the name of your best friend. Okay. Then what I like my teachers. If I like to play football, I can write down I like playing football, or I like to play football, for example. Okay, so what you like, what you don't like, you can write down that one also. Dear students, you have to write down these things if you are writing about yourself. Okay, and if you want to add other information, you can add, no problem. But basically, don't forget to write down these things while you are writing a paragraph about yourself. Is it well? Is it clear to you? Very good. Then I want to show you some examples from your textbook. Okay, it's given in Unit 5, page number 47. So you can have a look. So what is written here, dear students? Please read with me. read about Mandira and make similar sentences for the following. So first of all, I am going to show you a model paragraph about Mandira, and I want to give you some clues, and then you have to write similar paragraph about those persons. Okay, so are you ready for it? Fine. Now let me show you. See, these are the clues for you about Mandira. First of all, read the clues, okay? Mandira, name of person, okay? Then Rampur. What do you guess Rampur is? Yes, it is name of the place. It is her address, okay? Then student, and then 10 years, then class 5, father or teacher. Based on these clues, you have to develop a paragraph. So how do you develop a paragraph based on these clues? Please just think and write at least 3 sentences in your exercise book, and later I will show you the model paragraph for it, and you can check whether your paragraph is similar to my paragraph or not. Please start. Have you finished? Well, now you can compare. See, I have developed a paragraph based on these clues like this. My name is Mandira. I live in a small village, Rampur. I am a student. See, Mandira is a word, and we have developed a sentence for this word, that is, my name is Mandira. And here is given Rampur. This is also a word, address. And again we have developed a sentence as I live in a small village, Rampur. And here is only one word, student, again. And again we make a sentence. See, that is I am a student. Okay. Then there is 10 years. Here also we develop a sentence. That is I am 10 years old, okay, and there is class 5, so it becomes like I am in grade 5, and there is father, okay, and a teacher, so it is my father is a teacher. Dear students, here also see the girl has written her name, then her address, then who is she, okay, student, then how old is she, her age and her class, and about her father, which we have already discussed. This is how you have to write down a paragraph. Okay? Now, I am going to give you some clues. Based on those clues, you have to develop this type of paragraph. Are you ready? Fine. Now, the clues for you are, see, please read with me. Kiran, okay, like Mandira, student, and Sonapur, like Rampur address, okay, class 6, 11 years, father, a businessman, very rich. Based on these clues, now develop a paragraph. Please start writing. Have you finished? Well, you can check your paragraph with me. So it becomes like this. Look at, it is given in your textbook. Kiran is a student, okay, he, blah, blah, blah. Then we have to develop a sentence. I will show you later. And again, he is, he is, they. Incomplete sentences. So these are clues for you, okay. Now, your answer should be like this. Your paragraph should be like this. Kiran is a student, then he lives in Sonapur. What address is given here? Sonapur, okay. That's why it is he lives in Sonapur. We develop the sentence in this way. And then you can write down another sentence for this class 6. So it becomes, He studies in grade 6. Okay, here is given class 6. So he studies in, you can write down either class 6 or grade 6, no problem. Then 11 years, you can write down here, he is 11 years old. All right. Then again here is father, a businessman. You can write down, so I have written like this, he loves his father. All right. Then you can write down his father is a businessman. And at last we have very rich. So what did you write there? Last sentence? See, your last sentence should be they are very rich. See, it is a paragraph about the student whose name is Kiran. Is it clear to you? If so, again I am going to give you the clues, and again you have to develop a paragraph based on given clues. Okay, be ready for it. Now the clues for you are, see, Pemba, okay, like Mandira, like Kiran, Pemba. Anikpur, see, like Sonapur, like Rampur, Anikpur, address. Then class 3, then 8 years, then members, 10, father, a carpenter. So you have to develop a paragraph. Please start writing. I hope you might have finished writing a paragraph, at least of 2 or 3 sentences now, and you can check with me. Okay? See, your paragraph should be like this. Now, it is also given from your textbook, okay? Pemba is a little girl. See, now you have to develop a sentence with the help of this clue, Anikpur, okay? See again, now you can write down her class. See again, you can write down her age, and you can write down about the number of family members. Then you can write down about her father, and who is he, what is his work, you can write down at last. Okay, now you can check whether your paragraph is similar to my paragraph or not. Now your second sentence should be, she lives in Anikpur. Okay, here is given the address, Anikpur. She lives in, very good, Anikpur. Then she studies in grade 3. Okay, she studies in grade 3. Now, what is another sentence? Please tell me that you have written down. Yes, that is, she is 8 years old. So once again, please read with me. She is 8 years old. Okay. Another sentence. See, she is 8 years old. Now 10 members. You have to write down a sentence for this clue, and your sentence should be like this. There are 10 members in her family. So once again, please you read with me also. There are 10 members in her family. Well, and another, we have father, a carpenter. So how did you develop a sentence for this clue? So your sentence should be like this. Her father is a carpenter. Her father is a carpenter. See, this is a paragraph about Pemba. Okay, so this is what you have to write down if you are writing a paragraph about yourself, or if you are writing a paragraph about someone else. Okay, after this, dear students, I want to give you a task. Now write about yourself. So for here, you have to mention these things. See, this is another example. This is another model of paragraph about yourself. You can write down such things, and this is just an example for you. See, you can practice with me, okay? You can write down a little bit faster now, and later on you can practice at your home. Is it okay? Fine. See, now you can write down in your exercise book, I am. Now write down your name here. I have written here, Rajani Shrestha. You can write down, I am your name. Have you finished? Very good. Then write down your age. I am 10 years old. So what is your age? How old are you? You can write down your age. Rajani Shrestha is 10 years old here. Now you can write down about your age. Then Rajani Shrestha lives in Kathmandu. Where do you live? You can write down the name of place where you live. So for example, you can write down like I live in, write down your place where you live. Then you can write down your father's name. Rajani Shrestha writes down like this. My father's name is Ashtanarayan Shrestha. So what is your father's name? You can write down. My father's name is, write down your father's name. Have you finished up to here? Fine. Then what is the profession of your father? What does your father do? You can write down his work. Okay. So here Rajani Shrestha writes down he is a doctor. So what does your father do? Please write down he is, then you can write down. I hope you have finished this sentence also. Then you can write down about your mother. My mother's name is, here Rajani Shrestha says that her mother's name is Sunita Shrestha. So what is your mother's name? You can write down again. Please complete this sentence. My mother's name is, please write down your mother's name. I hope you have finished this sentence again. Now, what does your mother do? You can write down. We have already discussed, if she is a housewife, you can write down housewife. If she is a teacher, you can write down teacher. Or if she is an engineer, okay. Here Rajani Shrestha says, has written down, her mother is a teacher. So you can write down, she is, then what does your mother do? Write down. Another sentence, she loves me very much. So I have already told you that if you want to add extra information, you can add that one. That's why Rajani Shrestha has also written down that she loves me very much means her mother loves her very much. Okay, so you can also write down this type of information. Then my school's name is Adarsha Secondary School. Now you can write down your school's name. See, Rajani Shrestha's school's name is Adarsha Secondary School. Here you can write down my school's name is Adarsha Secondary School. Write down your school's name. Then in which class do you study? You have to write down your class. Here Rajani has written that she studies in grade 5. So she has written down I study in grade 5. Now you can also write down I study in grade 5 because we are learning grade 5 English textbook. Okay. Then you can write down what you like. See, Rajani Shrestha likes, I like my school and teachers very much. So what you like, you can write down here. Okay. Then again she has written down I like dancing. So what you like to do? If you like singing, you can write down I like singing, or I like to sing. You can write down I like playing, or you can write down I like traveling. Okay, so you can write down your likes. Sometimes you can write down your dislikes also. So these things you have to write down. Dear students, so far I hope you might have finished writing a paragraph about yourself based on the model paragraph of Rajani Shrestha. Okay. Now I want to show you another slide. This is practice yourself. Okay. So what things you have to include it. Again I am repeating you the things. See, while you are writing about yourself, or if you are writing a paragraph on someone else, at that time, first of all, you can write down name. Name, your name, or the person's name whom you are going to write about. Okay. Then you can write down age. that person's age, or you can say your age, okay? Then you can write down address, place where you live, place where that person lives, Then you can write down about your father's name, or you can write down that person's father's name, okay? Then you can write down father's profession. What does your father do? Okay? Then you can write down your mother's name. Then you can write down her profession. What does she do or work? Okay? You can write down. Then you can write down about your sister or brother if you have, or if you want to write down about your uncle, if you want to write down about your aunt, if you want to write down about your best friend, or if you want to write down about your best teacher, no problem, you can write down, okay? You have to write down your school's name, and you have to write down your class also, in which class you are studying, okay? Then you can write down your likes or dislikes. I have already discussed, I have already explained what you like to do or what you like, you can write down. And sometimes if you don't like anything, and if you want to write down about that one also, you can write down. For example, if you don't like to sing, you can write down I dislike singing, or you can write down I don't like to sing. So you can write down your extra information also, okay? So don't forget to write down these things if you are writing a paragraph about yourself, or if you are writing a paragraph of someone else, okay? And don't forget, if you like to add some more extra information, you can add, no problem. But these are the basic things you have to include, you have to write down in your paragraph. After this, what is a paragraph about myself? Now, do you know what is a paragraph about myself? After discussing so many things, I hope you understand what is a paragraph on myself. So please, you think and try to tell me about it. Well, now you can check whether you have thought correctly or not. See, a paragraph is a group of sentences that is written to give a detail of myself. See, we have written a paragraph, and in that paragraph we have written down so many things about our name, age, address, school, class, about our father, about our mother, and what we like or what we dislike, okay? These things you can mention. So a paragraph is a group of sentences. See, there are many sentences, okay? And we have written that paragraph to give a detailed information about ourselves, okay? So if someone asks you to write a paragraph about yourself, you have to write down these things. Is it clear? After this, if you are clear, now I want to give you home assignment. This is your homework. You have to do at your home after this class. And when your school opens, you have to show it to your English teacher, okay? And your home assignment is, let's say, write a paragraph on myself in 7 sentences. It is very easy for you because you have already written down a paragraph about yourself because you did a practice with me. So it's very easy for you, okay? Dear students, I hope you might have better understood about writing a paragraph on myself. Likewise, you can develop a paragraph on someone else also, about your father, mother, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, best friend, your English teacher, anyone else, okay? Don't forget to mention such things. And if you like to add extra information, you can add very nicely. I hope you enjoyed today's class. This much for today. Have a good time. Stay safe. Goodbye.